Yo, what up, friends? So, Boneshatter, my league starter. The question that everybody's been asking, what are you playing? What are you doing? What's the plan? And how are we doing it? Well, today I want to talk to you a little bit about that. And I want to bring up Boneshatter and what's been going on. I've mentioned a lot in previous videos. My plan for going in the next league is to do a little bit of Blight at the start, make some money, mess around with heist a little bit, and then dive right into Delve. Delve has been like a real cool passion project of mine over the last couple of, months, and with the help of my friend Mario, plus, all the encouragement from you guys, I really want to explore it. I really want to dive into it as soon as possible. I think there's a lot of money to be made with Delve. I think there's a lot of cool things to be doing Delve in the early league, and I think Boneshatter is going to be one of the best ways to do it. Now, I know the title gives it away, and we're going to be doing a Boneshatter Jugg versus Slayer, and I'm going to go over the POB, the character, what it does, how it works. Now, if you've never seen Boneshatter before, I recently played a solo self-found version of Boneshatter. If you guys have seen my previous video, I got this character to level 90 in about 13 hours of playtime. I managed to get both Watchstones. The character right now is on a 4-link Boneshatter. It has a 576 DPS axe. If I grab a map and I make it rare and I just kind of open up a map, the character itself can do maps pretty well. You can do all of the early league content. You get your 2 void stones, no problem. You can alch your maps and pretty much go, and you won't really have a problem like playing it as a mapping character. Now, I know there's alt qualities of Boneshatter. We'll talk about them in a bit, but my goal right now is to showcase to you guys what I'm playing, how it works, what it's going to look like, and pretty much just kind of give you guys a walkthrough through the POB and just essentially what to expect going into the build. Now, this is a very basic tier 16 map. My gear on this league starter right now is pretty medium. There's nothing too exciting about it to run home to the bank, but I have managed with the help of my friend Mario to pretty much compose a lot of the information for you guys. And I don't even want to give myself any credit because he's done so much work, and you guys will see pretty much what we've managed to put together for you guys in terms of everything. Now, this is the map. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to see the boss, so we'll just skip that pack. We'll go over to the boss, we'll drop our totems, and then we'll just start whacking away. And you can see the damage itself isn't terrible. My axe is really bad in a trade environment. Day 2, day 3, you can buy a way better axe for 5 to 10C, do a little chaos recipe, do a blight map. Pretty much there's 1,000 ways to get yourself a brand new axe. In terms of this build and content, it can map really well. It can do Blight well because we just use towers. Expedition, it should be fantastic at. Big Bomb Expedition, it should be really good at. Things I wouldn't do with Boneshatter, Legion. I wouldn't want to boss with Boneshatter. Delve, it excels. We already know that. Delve is really good. And after this, I'll show you guys the Delve node, and you guys can see. And I know there's somebody screaming, "Get to the POB! Let me see it!" But yeah, before we talk about the POB, let's kind of take a look at how it plays. And we're dead. Forget it. Leave it. Don't press buttons and die. Go to the mines. I can't believe I died before the boss. I'm a failure. The one guy laughing at me right now, you left the death in. It's okay. I promise it's fine. You'll die too. It's all good. But yeah, overall, Boneshatter's sweet. Boneshatter's fun. It's a really solid, safe league starter. There's a ton of people doing it and a bunch of different variations of it. You really can't go wrong starting Boneshatter. And like I said, my main goal and main focus is to go straight into Delve as early as possible, and Boneshatter on a Jugg is one of the better ways to do it. You can see we just hop node to node. Nothing's really changed. We're not too deep into Delve yet because it's SSF and I've been having a hard time getting Soul Fight. But we get to our node, we turn on our node, and we just kind of whack everything out of existence, and it's pretty good. Now, in terms of things, the new Boneshatter base quality gives us 1% more damage per stack of trauma. That's pretty good. we're going to be losing Divergent Boneshatter, which we're going to touch on, and I will talk about that closer towards the end. I do think there is a workaround for the Divergent Boneshatter, thanks to some of the work that Mario's done. And pretty much, I'm not worried at all about the scaling of Boneshatter. It looks like it's going to be really, really solid while maintaining all of its defenses. And offensively, I think it's gonna get pretty insane. Now you can see we managed to do this node, no problem. Everything looks fine and dandy. I don't have any bosses because SSF to go show you bosses. Like I said, I wouldn't go boss with this. But anyways, let's talk about the character and where we're at. This current character, like I said, a 500 DPS axe. We're on a 4-link Boneshatter with a very basic helmet. Our helmet right now is just resistances, no life, fizz taken as. Our body armor, same thing, resistance, a little bit of life, fizz taken as. We have a really poopy ring with no minus non-channeling. We have a Lahoop because I never found another good ring. Just an amulet with resistances and accuracy and, you know, fizz damage to attacks. Our gloves are actually okay. They have life, fizz damage to attacks, chaos resistance. Our boots, very basic. Resistance, life, crafted on movement speed. Our belt, crap. You know, like everything on this character in terms of league starting is like very medium and okay. We're 45,000 armor. We have 80 all res. Like, we are just cruising. Very easy to get to this level in a day 1, day 2, well, probably like a day 2, day 3 scenario, assuming that you play a lot. You could probably have gear like this at the end of week 1 or like day 5 or something, and you can pretty much just do all the content and start farming and get rolling. Now, the really cool thing to what's going on is I have the POB. We put together the POB, and the POB will go over and show you everything. In terms of the actual skill tree and what to do, we've put the skill tree together to essentially just start as a Boneshatter character. We, you know, go kinetic impacts for early damage, versatility for dex and int, and the tree will just walk you through different sections of leveling. So you have a 1 to 12, a 12 to 29, a 24 to 39. Oops, I should click that. 24 to 39. It'll give you untiring. According to things that I have read and according to what Mario has said, you could swap to Boneshatter following this setup as early as Act 3. The earliest that I've done it is Act 6. I've talked to people who have done it in Act 3, who have swapped in maps, who have swapped in Act 6. As long as you have your first Ascendancy, which gives you untiring, and you grab this non-Val strike skill, you should be able to swap to Boneshatter relatively early and really take advantage of it. I wouldn't swap to Boneshatter early if you don't have Tribal Fury with the attack mastery. I wouldn't swap either if you have untiring, and if you can really get to exonerable before you do the swap, I'd grab an exonerable too, because you're just going to have the endurance charges and more ways to just mitigate the damage from Boneshatter. I like swapping in Act 6. I've been told you can do it in Act 3. I'm going to be streaming all week, so if you're not following the Twitch or the YouTube, you can come watch me do it all week. I'll actually have links to the VODs as I do there, and I'll put them in the description. But as of right now, we have this set up to swap really early. Level 33 to 49, we have our second lab. We have our level 70 tree. We have our early game tree, like early game maps. We have a mid game tree. We have an end game tree. And I have a bunch of other POBs that I'll be making videos about and talking about for complete end game shenanigans. So as far as this POB for your league starter goes, we have branched out a bunch of different leveling sections for you. Each one of those sections will cover different levels, gaps, and kind of walk you through what you need. As far as the skills go and what skills to take and what to do, we've also broken down all the skills for you guys. So we start with our level 1 Spectral Throw and the Volley Chance to Bleed, all of the level 4 gems, all of the level 10 gems, and what to link them to if possible. We do the swap to Sunder with Intimidating Cry. In Act 2, we add our Seismic Cry, our Heralds, our Sunder. We make 3 to 4 link if possible. Act 3, we just continue on with the Boneshatter swap. Assuming that you've done the first lab, do not swap to Boneshatter without doing the first lab. This is like really important. I'm just going to hammer that one in. Do not swap before the lab. Do the lab. If you're feeling uncomfortable, just stay 4 links Sunder until Act 6. Like, there is no shame in swapping the Boneshatter in Act 6. I've done it plenty of times in Act 6. It feels great. Once you get to Act 6 and you've unlocked Lily, we give you the essential like Boneshatter swap with early mapping, and we give you all of the gems and how you want to set everything up. Now, the Warlord Mark cast when damage taken setup might give you mana problems. I'm just going to put that out there ahead of time. If you do manage to have mana problems with that early, and it does become a bit of a pain in the butt, one of the things that you can take early is, instead of taking this 50 life node here, you can actually grab skills cost life instead of mana. You'll see later on, as we level through the skill tree and we get our character leveled up, we eventually do take it to compensate for that mana loss. As you get better gear and fix your mana and get non-channeling rings and reduce cost of everything, that issue with the mana will just go away. You might have some mana issues, start with a mana flask, eventually get non-channeling rings, and eventually just like get a little bit of leech, and you will be fine and all of your mana problems will go away. We also have an early game setup where we show you a 6-link Boneshatter, we show you some utility, we show you the cast when damage taken setup with Berserk, we have our War Banner, our Ancestral Cry, our Pride, our auras on precision, and then we have a mid-game setup that gives you Awaken gems and kind of like what to do. And then, because we want to keep this as league starter as possible and not make it juiced and crazy, we're leaving out the POB that has all the juice, all the high tier end game, all the crazy one-hander swaps and the cool little armor to do things and the circle of fear, you know, all of that tech we'll talk about and we'll get there. But I'm leaving that out of this POB because I want to keep this as league starter as possible and as friendly and easy so that you can like do things without stressing. Same things with the items. We have like a day one item tree. This is talking about how like you can grab Kitava's Feast, which will give you 510 DPS on an axe. Kitava's Feast, doing research, was relatively cheap day one, even cheaper day two. This should not maintain a high chaos, value over the first like day or two. We grab Tanu Ahi so that we can have Adrenaline and Onslaught. We get Hinakora's Sight so that we can get a ton of extra accuracy and we cannot be blinded. Hinakora's Sight's actually really good because it gives us that accuracy and cannot be blinded. Cannot be blinded is going to be really important because we don't want to reduce our accuracy to reduce and break our precise technique. Also, according to our skill tree, we get more attack speed per accuracy rating from Undeniable. So having the extra attack speed from the accuracy is really, really, really good because Boneshatter is really good with attack speed. And since we lose Divergent Boneshatter, we just want something at the, especially in the beginning of the league, to just kind of like really put us in a good spot. The better the roll on the attack speed and the Hinakora's Sight, the better you're going to feel. Now, something very important to keep in mind when you're swapping through and looking at the gear, like say week 1 gear and how, you know, we have this Essence Crafted Axe, make sure that your passive tree is set to what you want it to be. I've seen plenty of times people look at builds and they'll have like day 1 gear and their like tree is set to like level 33 and they have all these warnings and they're freaking out. So while you're looking through the gear set, just make sure that your passive tree is matching to your gear set. If you have any warnings or any issues or something breaks, or you really don't know what's going on, leave a comment down below or stop by the Discord and ask. You know, I understand that warnings are confusing and POB is a little bit difficult at times, and I want to do my best to make sure that this is, you know, as stress-free as possible for you guys and answer a lot of the questions that you guys have. Now, we do have day 1 starting gear. We do have gear that you should be able to get at the end of week 1, you know, with a nice crafted axe, or you buy an axe off the trade website, a helmet with the June enchant on it, you know, the Fizz taken as, a body armor with Fizz taken as, you know, movement speed, all your veiled mods. You start to get like nice, you know, amethyst rings. We've got like mid-game, I have a little bit of money. This is like your week 2 gear, depending on how fast you farm and how much Blight you're doing. You might actually be able to like get this gear at towards like, you know, a week into the league, and you can start putting some really nice stuff together. An 800 Fizz DPS axe might be a little, you know, that might be like a week 2 thing. This is why this is calling this the I got money mid-game section, because, you know, the gear gets a little bit more intense, a little bit more, you know, we start putting our Searing Exarch and Eater of World mods. We get a little bit more refined rares to what we need, and we really start kicking up our, you know, our gear and our passive tree and stuff. This entire POB, like I said, is going to be very much put towards a two-handed Boneshatter League start setup. So like, you know, the DPS or the axe is going to cap at like 800. We're going to put a fourth vow. We're going to get a fractured helm, you know, fractured helmet, fractured boots. Pretty simple stuff. And we're not really going to dive into the one-handed shield swap. To swap to a nice one-hander with the Dawnbreaker shield and the good corruptions and the gloves and the helmet, and to really push past 1,000 delve, we're going to need to put together a little bit of currency and a little bit of money. But do not fear, I do happen to have all kinds of POBs ready for you guys. Like I said, I would include this stuff into the POB now for the league starter, but I really don't want to get yelled at about like, oh my god, you have this armor as overcapped with this shield and this. I know it's a lot to take in. You can, if you want, grab the POBs. I'll put the links down below. You guys can take a look at them and, you know, figure out how you guys want to do things. You know, this gear, like getting in ashes, getting the mage blood, getting all that stuff is going to take a little bit of time, and we really don't want to focus on that yet. We want to focus on getting our league starter up and running. We want to be able to farm. We want to get down into delve, and this gear and this setup should get us to 600, 700, 800 relatively easily. And if you have like good scaler, you get really well into delve. You could push to 1,000, no problem. But eventually you're going to just start making money hand over fist because you're delving and you're pushing in deeper. You're killing your alls and all your different bosses and getting your resonators and getting all your stuff, selling everything, and getting that swap over to the one-hand setup will not be as difficult and not be as, you know, overwhelming. If you're scared or you don't know if you have enough money to swap, feel free to come ask, leave a comment down below, check in the Discord or on the stream, and we'll evaluate and see where you're at and how much the gear costs and whose it's and what's it's, and we'll try to figure it out. But the two-handed Boneshatter setup looks really good. It's really strong. Playing it in solo self-found has felt really good. As far as other things go, calculations, we have very minimal calculations set. We have Fortify because we're Fortified. We have Rage. We have Flask. I really didn't want to do a whole lot of calculations because, you know, there are different settings and different things and people are going to freak out, and I don't want anybody to panic. I want everything to be as smooth and simple as possible. I've added a note section. This note section, as people ask questions, will be updated. So check back in on this video. If you have a question and you don't see an answer to it, leave the question down below. I'll do my best to answer you guys on YouTube, on Discord, in the streams, either on YouTube streams or Twitch streams. And any questions that you guys come up with, I will add an update to this POB so that you guys have a update, like a live updating build. I would definitely recommend, if you're watching this video now, early in the week and the league hasn't started, to check back in on this video closer to league start, make sure nothing's updated and or changed. Odds are we'll add something to it to make your experience smoother. There are notes, you should take a look at them. They'll talk about how to make like a sapphire ring for Mervale, how to upgrade your basic axe, how to craft an axe. Pretty much all basic things that the Twitch chat and the YouTube chat asked while we were putting together this live on stream. But I really want to keep this simple. I really want to make this as like easy as possible for you guys to get started. And essentially, I think Boneshatter is going to be really good this league, and I like the new alt quality. I think the 5% per trauma is really good. I know losing the attack speed and Divergent Boneshatter feels really bad, but I've been talking to Mario and he's really confident that at 180 stacks, like, it's starting to look pretty good. He did some configurations and he put in 1100% more damage at 180 stacks of Boneshatter, and he got it to like 1.1 billion damage with 800 effective hit pool. I'm not saying that there's something there. And I'm not saying this is POB Warrior, but I'm saying that I trust Mario and it looks really good. And if he's figured something out, I will happily test it and I will showcase it to you guys. And if it works, we will make sure that you guys know all about it and how to do it, and we'll release all that information. But nothing will be kept secret. If you want to know about it, or you have questions, or you want to know, feel free to stop by the stream and ask me a bunch of questions or leave comments down below, and I'll make sure that you guys have information. But for now, this is the Boneshatter League starter. I will have links, like I said, included into the basic one-hander setup, links into the going into the Dawnstrider, Dawnbreaker setup, links into like a better helmet, the overcapped fire, the circle of guilt. I'll have all this information down below for you guys and what to look out for and to put on your buy list. But yeah, no, have fun with the two-hander. I'm really excited about it. I think it's really strong, and there's not too crazy much to say. The build itself is really straightforward. Put on axe, hit things, have it explode. But for now, friends, good luck. I hope you guys kick some butt and your league start goes really well. And don't hesitate to ask a million questions. We are here to help, either me or the Discord. We want to make sure that if you guys are going to go Boneshatter, that you guys have a really smooth, easy experience. But for now, friends, let me know what you think. And if you want to know more about the Boneshatter, more about the delve, more about my plans, and you want to see updates, let me know, because I'll be more than happy to update this and get that information out to you guys. Friends, good luck. See you Friday. Bye.